Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hi, I am Jayant Chatterjee, and as you know, we are discussing different aspects of new products and new services management over the next few weeks. If you recall, in the last session, I was discussing STP, segmentation, targeting and positioning. The slide in front of you on the screen, that kind of summarizes the discussions that we had in the last session, that segmentations are needed to target customers efficiently based on their value proposition attraction, the value proposition of your product, goods or services, and the customer's needs can be matched by carefully doing the segmentation, first identifying the base segment and then going into some micro segmentation, where the targeting is done by matching the customer's detailed profile with that of the products, attributes and features and tangible and emotional properties. As I promised, I am going to discuss some interesting advanced techniques. So, today I am going to discuss some advanced techniques, interesting techniques of doing segmentation and targeting and positioning, which will be a supplement to the discussion that we had in the last session. So, you can see on the screen, we are doing a segmentation for carpet fibers, the fiber that is used for making artificial carpets. And here we have chosen, and this is the important point, that whenever you are doing segmentation, you have to choose orthogonal, that means properties which are related but distinctly different, important properties, and if you set them on the x axis and y axis, then you can see different types of requirements. Some of your buyers may be needing more water resistance because they may be looking at creating some kind of floor covering where there may be moisture ingress and so on, or some people may be looking for strength because that's going to be used maybe in the reception area or in entrance area, etc., or floors of classrooms and so on, which are very intensively used. So, accordingly, depending on the different where the properties that your products will have, because it is possible that you have a product which is high in water resistance as well as high in strength. So, that means you are in this particular what we call cluster, or you could be somewhere where your water resistance is low but your strength is high. So, you may be here, or you may be where you are making something which is very for low grade use. So, you have neither any distinction with respect to water resistance nor with respect to strength. So, in that case, you come in particular this structure. So, basically this segmentation, as you can see, also tells us the other people who are other competition who in having the similar kind of properties and therefore similar kind of positioning, and you can actually on this axis, depending on your water resistance strength or your you can position your product within that particular cluster. So, what we are saying here is choose two orthogonal important properties. Orthogonal means that properties which are related but distinctly different, and then using that as x-axis and y-axis, you can create different clusters of requirement as well as competitors who are playing in that particular segment. This segment that you want to serve and you want to target, there you have to actually, you can also look at this thing, that positioning. The positioning means, I'll relate to something that we discussed yesterday, which is TAM 1 and TAM 2. That means any company, when they are starting with a product, they can't, very seldom they can go big bang, at one time cover the entire market. So you can either start with certain limited geography or certain limited types of customers, limited types of usages. So which means that you will actually not be going big bang, and you are actually going to release products which cover every kind of requirement. You will perhaps actually here, as you see, a kind of lower on the water resistance but very high on strength. So as you said, that suppose this is carpet fiber to be used for hotel reception area or institutional usage areas, where moisture is not an issue, but strength and durability is an issue. So there you position yourself with respect to the, like here as you see, this particular, your position means your water resistance is reasonably on the approaching the higher side, but your strength is pretty much on the high side, and this is your position. This is where you are starting. This is the whole cluster of competitors whom you will have to address, but you start here. So this is your addressed market, and this is your addressable market. As you can see here, that means addressable market for a particular type of product will not cover all segments. You might develop other products with different other properties to expand your product line. We will discuss that in the, perhaps in the next session. You might one day cover all these segments, but you start somewhere, and then you particularly address your market, that particular segment of the market, with an expansion orientation if you want that kind of growth. And if you want, then you can have to create different other classes of products or product extensions, or expand your line to address other kinds of segments. A different kind of segmentation is done where actually we look at behavior. So the behavior can be sort of typified, or typical profiles can be created by way of demographic. That means, say, age, income group, size of the residents, or whether they have own cars, and so on and so forth. These are using therefore financial characteristics, age oriented characteristics, residence oriented characteristics, etc. Or it can be psychographic. That means, is it a young professional male luxury goods oriented person, or somebody who is actually an educated professional, say a professor, a female professor, or a female corporate executives. So like that, using different kinds of persona, as we call. Here actually you'll have to describe the person in lot more detail, like not only age, but what's the person's profession, what does she like, what are the other products she buys, all that. We usually, what we do is we often actually create what we call a mood board, where we try to sort of profile that particular customer, not only from demographic point of view, we borrow few points from the demography, but what we go focus on is what we call lifestyle and values. So that's one way of particularly very important psychographic segmentation for consumer products, be it fast moving consumer products or for consumer durables. Psychographic is very important for when you actually are developing products for personal care, health care, and so on. Then you can have a needs based segmentation where a particular type of, this is quite used in industrial requirements also, as well, because somebody may be looking for a particular type of gear which will be used in food processing machinery. So therefore, it has to be very safe from different contamination point of view, and it will have to be some material which can be easily washed and completely cleaned. So maybe it will be a high grade steel will be used, or sometimes it may be using some synthetic material which is completely non-reactive with respect to food properties and so on. So these are some specific needs, and you can actually also do segmentation based on that. And there are of course certain other types of behavior based segmentation which is called choice modules. This is a little bit more mathematical. I'll see if we find time towards the later part of the course to discuss more about this choice. So to summarize, segmentation is you first articulate the strategic need for segmentation. That means usually most products in today's highly competitive world will have a need of segmentation, but you have to define why are you looking at segmentation, from what perspective. Is it because of your resource constraint? Is it because your product has certain specific types of appeal? Whether your product at this moment cannot cater very well to certain different kinds of applications. So all these you must be very clear in your mind that why you are approaching segmentation. The key point remains that it is very difficult to be everything to everybody, so therefore you try to be most things to somebody, and you are trying to identify that somebody, and that is the key to segmentation. So once you understand the needs and once you understand your strengths and weaknesses of your product, then you actually try to match that, and then you can select some clustering procedure where actually you can therefore aggregate, look at other competitors. You can also therefore understand that what will be the size of your addressed market by way of numbers and rupees potential, income potential, and so on. And also sometimes you have to choose the segments depending on your organization's strategic need and resources and so on. Like for example, if your company has cash flow constraint, then you have to look for products and segments which are matched to be fast moving. Therefore, you have a better cash flow, or where you can get payments upfront and so on. So you have to look at your organization's strategic situation from all aspects, from financial aspect, from marketing aspect, from organizational competency aspect. So taking all of that into account, you have to also modify, if necessary, your segmentation strategy. So cluster analysis for segmentation of the markets. Here actually I will show some, you can use some numeric and strategic criteria. So it could be size, annual requirement in case of say industrial products. So using these different ways, you can, as you see, this is a particular technique that we have used here. The output will be like this. So select numeric and strategic criteria, use your judgment, and profile the needs of the segments for this kind of clustering. We use some modeling techniques for this, and I will see if we can discuss one or two modeling techniques. But otherwise, you can also find this kind of clustering technique from any standard statistics text, particularly statistics for business and management use, that how do you do this kind of clustering. And then accordingly you can plot, and you can use that sort of graph where you can therefore create these different clusters. Let me look at some qualitative approaches also, where actually you can have data, and according to do this for example we are calling it the switchability segmentation. So you see here we have divided the customers, our customers, loyal to us and losable, right? This will come from your front line, from the buying pattern of those organizations. It is often this kind of approach is very important for most industrial products. And here you see these two segments. Here we have customers of your competitors, but they have some dissatisfaction, or there are some reasons why you feel you can win these customers away. You can win a customer away by offering superior value. That means your product, if it performs the need of those customers better than the way they are being served today by your competitors, they are your winnable customers. And then of course there are people who will be loyal to your competitors. So you see here this kind of segmentation tells us where to focus. So here you have to focus on retention, and here you have to judge that how valuable are these customers. We will later on discuss this lifetime value analysis of customers to know which customers are more important to us. This is actually a core of what we call customer relationship management, because we know in relationship again focus is very important. So segmentation actually is another way of understanding that you can't be everything to everybody, so you need try to be most things to somebody. So therefore in the losable there will be some people you would hate to lose, so there you have to therefore develop some strategies, and some people you feel okay, I mean I know I may not be able to retain them because there is some value mismatch, maybe what they exactly need and what I am offering. So they may be looking for much lower price, or they may be looking for certain technical attributes which you are not able to offer today. Your competitor can do that. And similarly, it's not very useful to focus on the people who are loyal to your customers. So as you can see, here your focus will be on retention, loyal to us, and here your focus will be on acquisition, because these are customers who you might acquire away from your competitor. And few other usage of segmentation analysis, as I said, that some of the modeling techniques that can be used, like one is analytic hierarchy process, AHP. A lot of material is available on the net it's a very easy but powerful tool that can be used to understand what kind of market share you can have depending on your features and how important those features are for the customers. So first you actually do a customer survey. From there you understand that which factors customers want and how important those factors are in their sort of mental ranking, or which is most liked and which is most important to the least important, kind of this. And then using that you can actually compare your products with other products, from where you can actually very nicely develop something what we call an imputed or logically targetable market share. This is a more simpler approach, and then the more developed approach here where we can do various kinds of multi-criteria analysis is AHP. So I will actually discuss later on, when we have covered some other topics, this kind of usage for doing segmentation and market share projection and so on. This developing a marketing plan or marketing mix, the 4 P's etc., those we will be taking up next week, and then all these points will become that once you have actually identified a segment and you know what kind of positioning you are going to take in that targeted segment, then comes the deployment strategy. That means how are we going to translate that positioning with respect to that segment, target segment. So what kind of pricing we will use, what kind of promotion we will use, what kind of channels to market we will use, and what kind of product packaging or offer. But when we say offering, we actually talk about not only the core product but all kinds of augmentation that we actually do to the product when we put it in the market. We'll discuss that. So usually this, because all these four words, product, promotion, place, that is distribution, place, all these start with P. So actually we often call this marketing mix as 4P. We'll discuss that. That will be our topic in the coming week. So in summary, STP is extremely important. So first come CVP, customer value proposition, and for any product, this is you can say the trajectory, CVP, and the next step is STP, that is understanding the segment where this product will be most appealing and kind of positioning based on your customer value proposition for targeting that segment efficiently. So different types of segmentation we have discussed in the last session and today's session, some techniques that can be deployed, and I have sort of also indicated some later on some of the more advanced modeling stuff that I will take up. The segmentation strategy deployment or mechanisms to translate this STP is what we call the marketing mix, which we will discuss in the following sessions. Not exactly the next session, but further sessions over the next 10 days or so. So there we end today. Thank you.